Well, I can move it to right there.
To get that in camera. That's the sound of the pizza.
Looks good.
I didn't know it was class. So I don't know.
You didn't ask.
My dad.
What's up, man? You made it.
I made it again. Living clean.
So there's 20 people RSVP'd. Looks like they're about half here, so probably get started. So I'm supposed to go to the So what's up, everybody? I'm Kenny for those few new faces that don't know us yet. We've been doing this for over a year now. It's been kind of fun learning about how to do SEO for all different types of websites. Feel free to contribute or ask questions about your own stuff whenever you feel so inclined. If you inspire a question, by all means ask it. Kind of some housekeeping from the start. So we used to rent from Space here, and it was really nice because they provide all these rooms for us. And it's also really nice because I once a month bring in a bunch of new faces to their facility that may be potential clients. So you think they'd really be excited about that? Well, since we moved, they decided that they're not going to charge us to use this room. So things just got a little more expensive. So we have a couple plans here, and we want to just kind of throw them out and see what everybody thinks as far as where this is going to be in the coming months. So 4 options, pretty much. Either we start collecting donations. I don't want to make it a requirement by any means, but if people wanted to donate a couple bucks, that would be nice. So that's one option. Not my favorite. We've moved to a different free location, which I haven't talked to Innovation Center yet, but that's probably where it would be if they would be willing to sponsor such an event. I guess it's all familiar with Innovation. I don't know a lot of you guys are, but way out, it's down south, so it's not as convenient as the center of town is, which I really like being here, so I don't necessarily like that idea. We could stop providing pizza. That would kind of offset. That would kind of offset. Yeah, no, not my favorite either. And kind of the one that makes the most sense, and it involves an investment from me, but it also involves an investment from the attendees, is helping make the SEO community, and specifically NeONBRAND, even a little cooler than that already is, by just contributing more. So we're going to start doing obviously a roundup kind of blog post. We do those as it is. But Andrew is my SEO guy. That's Andrew over there. He's going to start monitoring a new forum that we're going to start. So it'll be on VegasSEOmeetup.com. Spencer's actually finishing putting it together right now. And basically, we just kind of want to bring the discussion outside of the classroom and kind of keep talking and engaging throughout the month instead of just on the one day a month. Kind of works for me in a back-ended way. I get to see what all your ideas are, and then I get to use it to make great content for my own site. It also provides me value in that way, so I'm willing to keep paying for the classes and everything else because I can derive benefit from that. And I hope it provides benefit to you guys. I mean, answer your questions whatever you want. Great forum to search and find answers to things that you might be looking for. So that's my favorite one. It takes a little bit more work from everybody else as you attend, like commenting on our blog posts, signing up for our newsletter, anything you can do to be involved, we would appreciate. Obviously, again, not required, but just kind of set it up that side of things. So we either start collecting some kind of donation, we move to a different free location, we stop providing pizza, which Wesley doesn't like, and we can make the community more awesome. We got a new tagline for our company going into 2015, and it's making your awesome company awesomer is our new tagline. So we kind of want to do the same thing for Meetup going into the new year. We want to take it to another level. So dude, come on in and grab some pizza. So that's kind of my 2 cents. Any initial thoughts? We can follow up this off. Yeah, what's up?
So this is kind of like a slight loophole-ish, but like for a free location idea, I'm not sure if we already have some, but
this is a great, if you have any free locations, by all means.
Okay, so it's kind of like a loophole. So I'm a UNLV student.
Oh, yeah.
And I can start a student organization
Oh,
called
yeah.
SEO Club or something.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Hey, I
And
like that.
then if I do that, then I can reserve rooms for
not a bad idea.
both students and non-students.
Yeah.
So that's
Not bad idea.
Do they buy pizza in the building?
We'll talk, yeah. They like my pizza, supposed to have some pizza. That's a great idea. Yeah, let's talk after.
But we need to have a student membership, so I'm probably gonna have to reach out.
Do they do
a few
alumni too?
times.
Because I graduated from.
Oh really? Oh okay, then yeah, I'm pretty sure they do.
I'll help somewhere. Cool. Cool, that's awesome. Thanks. No, that's great. And if anybody else has any other ideas for free locations, that's probably the number one option. So, think about it, and we'll circle back at the end, see if we have any other additional thoughts. Any questions before we start on your own stuff? SEO questions you've encountered over the past little while? Anything we can help with in general? Yeah.
Okay, so I read the impending death of SEO because everything's
It's funny, I agree, and that's kind of what I'm talking about.
okay.
It's kind of spot on.
Great minds,
Kind
and
of spot on to
I'll
what we're
just,
going for.
I'll just be quiet.
You guys know you're good? You're good. Any other questions? That's perfect. That's it. I'll talk exactly about that.
Has Chrome changed? I don't know. I was having issues with their shortening links of mine. Not like a Bitly kind of short, or like.
But like YouTube or
Well, it's actually search results, and they're shortening it and not showing the results. They're just showing like the search like.
you mean in the search results?
So if I make the search result, then I get copy the URL.
A full big long messy
Yeah.
URL.
Paste that into a new.
Shortens it.
Yeah, it just shows it, and the results disappear.
That's right. So,
It could. I'm not.
yeah, let's try this. Is Chrome. Let's see what happens.
But it was yeah.
So there, and then you pasted it where? Somewhere
Into a new.
into a new browser.
Well, it wasn't just that. It was managing like property search. I don't know.
I was just moving it.
Oh,
okay.
Not like a Google search, but you're on something else.
Yeah, so I was.
Then it's shortened to a Go.gl link.
No, they just totally got rid of like the whole long form. Yeah, I didn't know if you heard about it.
I'm not sure if I've heard of that. Grab some pizza. There's plenty.
Oh, thank you.
There's plenty of pizza to eat. We'll look into that though, for sure. Chrome did update it. We do have the user profiles. Chrome's a huge part of search engines nowadays. They have tons of information. If you have Google Chrome, if you're using Google Chrome, they have so much information about you. So they use that to tailor their search results all the time. Any other questions? Yeah.
So not like Firefox.
I love Firefox. Firefox has development all the time, so I go back and forth. It's either Firefox or Chrome. Both good.
What about Safari?
Safari's okay. It's got its own bugs and stuff. Typically, Chrome and Firefox seem to be the most current, and most websites work on Safari. You run into stuff every once in a while.
Right.
Safari's low on the list of browser usage. It's pretty. It's like 3 or 4% is all it gets of total web browser usage. I'm pretty sure Firefox is number 1 or Firefox or Chrome here. Browser usage stats. Chrome with 61%. Yeah, 3.7. Firefox as of December last year. Stupid internet explorer.
I use Internet Explorer.
For internet, for IE to be down to 8% is amazing.
From 90+% 10 years
Yeah.
ago. They were the only player in the game, and they didn't do anything since then, so they dropped it off. Every update got worse. Chrome's good. Firefox is good. My favorites.
So I've got a kind of, I guess it's a fringe SEO thing. So a friend of mine sent me a screen capture of my site being blocked by Norton Security as a porn site.
Ooh.
So my SEO is
Stop putting
fairly,
little porn pictures on there, and that problem will be fixed.
it's not exactly porn. So my SEO is rendered fairly ineffective when my site's being blocked. So I literally like tweeted to them and they fixed it.
Oh, really? Norton
So, yeah, like they, I guess somebody manually looked at it and said, no, this is not working.
Wow.
So it kind of makes SEO moot if some strange thing is happening like that.
Logged in or something.
Yeah. how you find that out, but like when traffic went up after.
Really? So it was noticeable, so there was a noticeable block. Interesting.
I'm crediting you with the increase in traffic.
It
but
totally was me.
Technically.
Yeah. For sure. Cool. Any other questions? You want to get any more pizza? Plenty. So to kind of start over again, I'm Kenny. For the late drivers, I'm Kenny. I'm NeONBRAND. My guys are here. Spencer's my web developer. Andrew's my SEO guy. Wesley's my social media guy. Andrew's going to start a forum after this meetup, or well, yes, between Spencer and Andrew, they're starting a forum to take the discussion out of the classroom too. So we'll send a link out, post questions. Andrew will be moderating it throughout the month. If you have any questions, go ahead and post them there, so we can keep in touch throughout the month. Also sign up for our newsletter if you don't get that already. That keeps you informed with all of our blog posts. We just had a really cool blog post that Andrew put together, which I'm going to talk a little bit about tracking actually. And put this together today. So we send out good blog posts that help do things on your website. Your site can benefit from this, help with your load times.
I have purchased it based on your recommendation and use it, and I think it does make a difference.
Yeah.
It doesn't help my bounce rate, but it does help my
load times and something like that. What this does, just to totally distract from what we're actually going to be talking about, make sure it's just super small without affecting how they look. So if you have a heavy image blog, this plugin does awesome things. Wesley's an image Nazi over there. Loves his big, fat, huge social media images so they look as crisp and as nice as possible. And he can't tell the difference. He can't see the difference. And it's 50% or more reduction in size and still keeps quality where it's at. So so we do posts like this all the time. We're going to start doing more high quality posts. So just sign up on our website if you want to get those updates when they come out. Cool. So
the Kraken customer service, literally instant responses, custom responses. So.
Yeah, they're great. Twitter too. When we finished this, they tweeted it. Kraken tweeted that for us. So yeah, they're cool guys. So they're really helpful. So yeah, what's up?
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Do you know if like if it's like the quality of the image after the shrinking, or I'm guessing you could also enlarge too, is that on par with like if someone uses Photoshop or Game?
It would be very similar, yeah. Like they have this cool little tester on their site, so right here, this thing. So the slider is the separator, and really, to the naked eye, on this horrible blurry projector, and even on nice little HD screens, you can't see the difference. It's really, really good, and it shrinks it. That one was shrunk 74%, so there's a ton of other good info on there. So it's cool. Check it out. I think we've talked about it before in meetups maybe. Okay, cool. So what we wanted to talk about today was kind of what you led into. We'll call it the death of SEO. So going into 2015, we're changing a lot of what our company does for our clients. The strategies are still the same as far as SEO is concerned. High quality content, high quality backlinks. You have to have those two pieces. If you don't have those two pieces, you don't rank well in the search engines. There are plenty of black hat ways to do said strategies that will provide short-term results, long-term damage. So we try to steer as far away from those as possible. But there are a lot of really cool ways to come up with good content that generates great backlinks. Has anybody had any success with a piece of content? Does anybody have, I mean, Scott's got some really good content on the site. And maybe we'll come back to you if nobody else has. But has anybody ever had a piece of content where all of a sudden, for whatever reason, it gained a lot of traffic or ranked well? You guys had any successes like that? You're probably Spencer. Yeah, tell us, Spencer, about your site thing there.
Well, I have the hydroponics website, and what I've been doing is there's a lot of formulas involved in hydroponics, like pHs and different mineral solutions and that
Hydroponics,
sort of thing.
water, plants.
Yeah, it's growing plants without soil, you know, and hydroponic systems are what they're called. And I went online and I find different formulas for certain nutrient solutions and that kind of thing, and I'll actually build calculators, and kind of throw them up on my site. I'll create a short little like 300-word blog post about it. If you go to the blog, hydroponic blog, right here, you'll see I create a little 300-word blog post for each calculator that kind of just gives something for Google to gain a little bit of traction with. And then throwing a little button like that on there is actually also a really great technique to reduce your bounce rate, because it kind of entices them to click on the button once they land on that page, to click on that button, and it'll take them over to the actual calculator, and that'll reduce your bounce rate. But you know, just trying to find resources that are already currently available online, like the formulas and stuff I'm using for these calculators, and converting them into more usable, user-friendly sort of means, you know, to gain some interaction and that kind of thing.
So it's a simple formula that can be found online in lots of different places, but now it's made it to even easier formula because it does the math for you. Anybody can type into their own calculator, but this is one way of making it even more user-friendly, and Google loves that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and if you find a niche that no one's meeting for a specific kind of formula that's always being calculated, you could really gain some traction.
Cool. That's one of Spencer's side projects. You've got hydroponics, which coincidentally is one letter off of hydroponics.
Yeah, so I'm definitely
very
interested to see if that has some kind of sway.
Cool. Well, anyone else have any success with some content, getting buzz? So one of our bigger tests was that Kraken post. So kind of go from the top. So that's the SEO. That's the SEO. So I think going into 2015, Google, and for a long time Google, their whole goal is to deliver the highest quality content that people are going to be able to learn the most from in the quickest amount of time as possible. So somebody types in how to do SEO, they want to be able to see what site is going to teach the person the most about SEO, and they want to put that up as high as possible with quality, good quality content, pictures, images, videos, slideshows, audio, whatever you can think of. And usually top 10 results are over 2,000 words long, 1,500 to 2,000 words long, so they're long. I think going into 2015, content is going to slay every other piece of SEO going forward, along with social and backlinks. So those will take a backseat to super high quality content. We used to do weekly blog posts for everybody, and they were 300 words, and they were good, and they were fine. Now we're shifting our focus to, so instead of 4 blog posts a month, we're shifting to 1, maybe 2 really good blog posts a month. So 1,500 plus words with a lot more thought into it. Looking at it from the perspective of people may want to read our 300-word blog posts because they're probably okay and they're maybe a little useful. But we really want people to read these things going into 2015. These need to be content that people are going to suck in and get engaged with and want to comment and do all those things. So how do we get to that point? So we have this. We have this little outline that we use with our clients. So it starts up here with what it's called, not clients, content. So, content schedule, content writing, content design, content optimization, content sharing, content marketing. So, I'm going to kind of go over each of those and how it plays out for a typical client, for ourselves. Any questions to start? Starting with the content schedule. So, how the content schedule works is usually Andrew, myself, Spencer, and Leslie will get together and just start discussing what the client might need for their website. First, we'll look at things like who their target audience is. We'll think who's the ideal customer for this person, and how do we get that person interested in reading what this person has to say. So we'll say, for example, maybe we're doing a real estate agent. Okay, we're looking for somebody probably over the age of 30. They're going to be in a profession, probably. They may have kids. They may have a family that they're interested in. So we kind of create this avatar of what the person might be interested in. We run all those things right out on the board. I think there's too much. Yeah, we did yesterday. So
adjust this at all if it's new or existing? Like it seems like with something new, you might want to go for a bit more quantity at first or something. I don't know.
What do you mean?
Like if you have if they have an existing blog,
Yeah.
moving into the longer, more in-depth stuff,
Yeah.
kind of seems important.
Yeah.
But it seems like in the beginning, if you have 3 long in-depth articles, I don't know if that's as much value as kind of
Bunch of
getting
small
stuff
ones.
out there. Yeah.
So I'm torn on that, and I lean more towards the 3 long ones versus 10 short, uninformative ones, because really the short ones, like I knew we wrote a good post if Wesley wanted to read it. He didn't want to read anything, but if he liked it and he wanted to read it, then it was a good post. And it only happened on the bigger posts. That's where like our cracking posts, like, oh yeah, this is cool. This is good, engaging stuff that I would want to read. And I think Google's really trying to harness that exact phrase. Like, do people really want to read whatever this guy's cranking out, or is it just fluff? Is it just what's the word I'm thinking of? Crappy content, or empty content, where thin content. Yeah, thin content. That's the word they use. Where it's just words on a page because I'm supposed to get words on a page, really not providing much value to the client. So I lean more towards 3 really good ones than 10 really short, or 10 short ones for the content, just the purpose of creating content. Yeah.
So to contrast with the email marketing guys, if you get a new client, they're telling you bang and circle things the first 3 weeks, and then you lengthen the content and the time in between them.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is no.
So that would be kind of different because you're talking about emails, and emails do have a different purpose for the most part. So you probably do want to go with, like, especially if you're going to email somebody who has recently signed up, or you've made recent contact with somebody and you add them to your list, or they add themselves to your list. You do want to get in touch with them quickly and multiple times in a row. Short, sweet.
Right.
This is who we are, and then you space them out. That's a perfect strategy for email marketing. You don't want to forget you. You want to remember you so that when your email comes in a month,
Right.
you remember because you got 3 from you already, not
Yeah.
spam. What is this? So email, I think you're in the right mindset. Content-wise, as far as trying to rank in SEO with Google doesn't necessarily care when you're targeting Google. They don't care. Oh, this guy posted 4 times, and I think that's a qualifier. But quality of content weighs more heavily than the number of times you're posting. So if you can, like the best blogs, like BuzzFeed, that's a blog. That's all it is.
Yeah.
These big, huge things that share stuff all the time.
Right.
They have really good regular posts, just constantly. Their content creation machine, this kind of thing, is cranking on all cylinders all day and all night, and that's all they're doing, and they're just generating the ad revenue. So obviously, a lot of people can't afford something to that level. I mean, that takes a ton of manpower, a ton of work. Most of our clients can't, so that's why we're cranking out 1 or 2. In a perfect world, I'd say if they had no budget limitations, we'd do at least 1 a day, and it would have 1,500 words, and we'd have a team of 10 guys working on it all the time. That's not realistic for most people. So 1 really good post a month, that's really, really long, really, really engaging and informative, goes a lot further than 4 short, thin posts. So that's super dark.
Although for a more news-oriented site, 1 a month is not going to
Not
keep
good
people
enough.
checking in.
No, yeah.
Because I kind of want people to come back.
Yeah, your site. So Scott runs a
Multiple
Vegas.
times, right?
What's it called? Vegas. VitalVegas.com, and it's a story about. It's a site about Vegas stuff happening all over town, like behind the scenes kind of stuff, right? So in your scenario, yeah, you want to be posting as much as possible, but still providing the quality.
Because those are the ones that really do well in terms of SEO and traffic. But the other agenda is to
keep something
Yeah,
on the radar.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you could sprinkle in the shorter ones while preparing the longer ones, that's probably a good happy medium. Like, because the longer ones are the ones that are going to rank, and the shorter ones are just going to be telling Google that I'm still here. I think I'm still becoming important. So budget allows that kind of stuff probably. Let me just line this in real quick so you can see what we're doing here. I mean, you couldn't see that, right? It looked really dark. From this angle, at least.
Can you turn off the lights and start around?
Oh yeah, try that. It's Wesley. Turn these lights off.
Something nice happened to it.
Yeah. So we started by setting up the audience profile here in the middle, where we said, okay, this is a series LLC versus traditional LLC is going to be our topic for this guy. And what's that person look like? Well, he's probably wealthy. It's some interesting things you'll see here that we came up with. Wealthy, he's probably maybe an investor, probably has real estate background. Series LLCs have to do with real estate lots of times. He has foresight, or she, I said he, relatively. Business owner maybe, probably workaholic, probably cheap, you know, probably you don't get rich, most rich people aren't big spenders lots of times we thought, so we were thinking that. We kind of drew out this avatar of what this person might be interested in. And then going into the schedule now, from here, we started laying out, okay, so this week we're gonna start by preparing this blog post about this. So we're gonna create an outline first. Then we're going to say, okay, here's what we're going to fill in the gaps with. In this specific scenario, the client likes to write his own stuff, so we're just providing him with the shell, and he's going to fill in all the good stuff. And we say, okay, leading up to this post, we're planning on releasing this post in a week. You know, our launch date for this post is 1 week from yesterday, Monday, whatever date that is. Leading up to that post, we're going to do some stuff in advance. So social media-wise, we're going to start generating some buzz on these channels and saying, hey, does anybody have an LLC, a series LLC? Has anybody looked into what those are and how to create one before, and just kind of in the days leading up to this post, generate some buzz so that when the Monday rolls around, let's leave some of those landscape, try to leave those one off. That's the only one to leave off, that person.
That's the only one?
Yeah. So that when, yeah,
Good.
yeah. So then when we launch the post, we do the same thing on the reverse side. So we launch a post saying, hey, remember how we talked about that? I mean, it's a little more tactful than that, obviously, Wesley. Make sure our social posts are really good, but we say, here's the post, go and read all about it, comment in the footer, you know, make sure that you're engaging with us. And then on the flip side, the other half of the schedule is the follow-up. So back on the social media, making sure people understood anything, seeing if you had any questions, going through that whole recourse. Am I missing anything, Andrew?
That's good. Perfect.
As far as creating the content goes, we can get into what the actual content can contain, but well, let's just go ahead and so content writing. So after we've set up what our topic is and a basic outline for what the piece is going to be about, then we have a writer come in, which lots of times will be you yourself, to come in and fill in all the fluff and make it sound as good as possible and make it as long as possible. With this one, we really laid out a bunch of different bullet points for the series LLC that we wanted to be covered. We say, okay, if he only wrote 200 words about each one of these posts, we'd easily be at 500, or about each one of these bullets, we'd easily be at 1,500 words pretty quickly. So the easier you can make it for you write, everybody else write, you write too. Writing's hard. I don't like writing, so we hire writers all the time. If I had the time, I love writing, but I just don't have the time. It takes too much of my time to do it. So we hire a writer, and they get the outline, they fill it up with content, and then it comes back to us for the next step, content design. For content design, we use a lot of different tools. One of the cool ones we just started using is called Canva, and they have one of the coolest landing pages I've ever seen. Canva, have you ever heard of Canva before? It's great. Okay, ready? Watch my mouse. You ready? Whoa. Whoa. It's everywhere. It's amazing. And the faster you go, the thinner it is. It's so cool. So we just play on this all day like this. So this combined with Photo Club, another one of our favorites. Stop paying $80 for a photo on stock photography, the iStock, whatever it's called. For $1 a photo, you get just as good images, and they're awesome most of the time. So, as far as content design goes, we then look at our post. They come back after it's been written. Yeah, go ahead, Andrew.
Stock videos as well.
Oh, yeah.
Big stock.
Big stock, right? Yeah. Big stock. These are really good, and they're relatively cheap for videos, for photo videos.
Go back.
Yeah, big stock. Not really plans. You get like a video a day or something like that?
You get $150 per month.
Per month. So way better than some of the other sites and some videos. And what we do with these is we can create video clips like wish that one was a better one to show them. But basically Andrew, what he did on the other post, I'm not gonna show you because this was really done client that has a very interesting product. Maybe I should show it. It's kind of alright, let's see it. Y'all heard of this before?
Wow. Really?
So, interesting product. It's down here on the homepage, right? FAQ. FAQ. Wait, what is this? Fake pee.
But you have to pee in the bottle, but you've done too much doobie.
This one, right? So what Andrew did is he took these Q&As that were already on the page. He got a couple videos from Big Stock and turned them into this.
Based on set of synthetic urine sample include creatine, pH balance, specific gravity, proteins, color, and foam. As every sample is pre-tested in a lab setting, it's impossible to distinguish it from natural urine for both male and female users of all ages.
He just read this exact thing. So, perfect little video. It was one Big Stock photo, and he just talked over it the whole time it was on. So, great way to get some extra engaging stuff into your post. So, between these three things, and Canva, super cheap as well. Do I have to log in for this? Is that it? Oh, that's not. So, super easy to use stuff. You basically pick. Let's just finish the tutorial. So you drag and drop. It's basically Photoshop for dummies. Like and it exports really nice looking stuff. For really cheap. Like $1 for an image and $1 for the graphics. Right?
A lot of them can be free if you pick the right things. Some of them are free and some of them are $1.
It's freemium.
Yeah, yeah. It's a premium tool, so you get to use it, and then if you want to buy it. So, lots of stuff. Really great. That's what we created back on ours, the Kraken post. That was created on there, right? Yeah. And so, what's this one at the bottom? Is there still one down there? Oh, no. Anyways, so, great tool. Great tool. So we take, after the content's been written, then we come in and use these tools to make it engaging and interactive and look good. Make sure the bolds are there, make sure headings are in place, add a picture, find a graphic, add a video, whatever we can to make the post the most engaging post as possible. Then after that, any questions on content design? How anybody would use these tools? They seem like good ideas. So, no. Content optimization. So, this is where SEO still comes into play a little bit. I don't think the core tactics of having a good website as far as optimization goes will ever go away. Although the day of the optimizer is probably dead. Yeah.
Does the content of the images ever affect SEO? Or is
Oh,
it
yeah,
just
for
really
sure.
like that?
No, for sure. For sure, the images do. You want to make sure they're named correctly, like the actual file name. So you download a photo from Installer Photo Club, and it's still got the long creative string DC1582431, whatever. Rename it to be whatever your keyword is, your focus word is for that post. So if we were doing Las Vegas SEO, and I downloaded a picture of an SEO graphic, I'd rename that as Las Vegas SEO, because you can lots of times you can rank for image results on the same search results pages. So you want to make sure your images are named correctly. Then beyond that, so your file name, but then also the alt tag inside of WordPress. Everybody WordPress for the most part. So, an edit here. So, the alt tag, alternative text. So, this one might be. I'll give you an alt tag for that. So make sure your alt tags, file names and alt tags are what you want to focus on. There's some cool plugins that we use called Be a File Renamer. That'll help you rename files after they're already imported into WordPress. Be a File Renamer. I think that's all. Let's go over here. That's a good one. Good question though. Images definitely matter. They're picked up. Google tries their best to understand them, but the more hints you can give them, the better. So if it's a picture about birds, call it birds, and put the alt tag birds. Like make sure they know exactly what the thing's about. The random characters and stuff don't be any good. That's good. Content optimization, as far as that goes, we use Yoast and we love Yoast, so we use it all the time. Yoast is a great way to do a simple optimization of your post. They give you quick little bullet points down here that tell you whether or not you use that phrase. We use it as a suggestion, not as a strict rule. The one downside is Google likes to see variants of your keyword string, like how to set up Kraken, but maybe you want to change it to Kraken setup guide or stuff like that, variations on the same term. So this only looks for the exact phrase repeated multiple times in your content, which is good, not great. It may look like over-optimization if you have that exact focus keyword written out 10 different times, exactly as it is. It might pick up that you're trying too hard, but otherwise, it's a pretty good tool to use it for that. And then, so these bullet points here, as well as the page analysis, which is disabled on ours because of another conflict or plugin, but we disabled it when we use it. Yoast. I've done lots of stuff on Yoast. We have a whole guide about how to use Yoast. So we can save that for another time. Yoast Ultimate Guide. So you can read up on that if you want to, but that's pretty much the extent of our optimization. So by the time we get to this piece, by the time we get to the optimization piece, we've created a really solid piece of content. This is going to be something that we have readers that actually enjoy it, and it's going to be something that gets shared, hopefully, that people are going to want to tell their friends about it, want to pick up on it. So hopefully it's really a really good piece of content by this point. Any questions about the actual creating of the content from start to finish? What industries? Does anybody have an industry they want to volunteer? We can think through some of that piece for it. Back to back, you have an industry you want to do?
I don't.
You know?
I wondered if you did that.
Look like I have an industry piece. Anyway, yes.
Military transitioning.
Oh, cool. Okay. So as far as that goes, I mean, Andrew Wesley, Spencer, go and chime in whatever you want. So you want to set up schedule first. So you want to think through what you're going to talk about. So your target audience is going to be recently returned or soon to be returned military personnel, probably. They're probably going to be in their mid-20s-ish, right? Early 30s at the latest, probably. I mean, feel free to help me think of this avatar too.
Yeah, and I'm going into civilian life.
Yeah, so it's maybe they have a small family, young, thinking about getting into a house, thinking through what this avatar looks like of that person, thinking about getting into a home, coming back into getting a job, all these things are probably in the mind. So that's your person. So now you can use that and say, okay, what types of content are these people going to be wanting? And obviously the whole site's about that. So maybe your piece of content, let's pick one of the many ideas, is going to be how to find a job once you get back. Yeah.
I got one maybe like a military to civilian transition checklist or something like that.
Yeah, that's good.
Or something.
That's a perfect idea. So checklist for, let's type it in. So, okay, another piece of content. I show this a lot because I use it a lot. HubSpot has this really cool article about bottomless backlog of blog posts. And it's easily turned one blog post into many. I've shown this a lot of times, sorry if you've seen it already. But basically you plug in your topic, so let's say it's the exact same one, how to find a job post-military life. You could write 100 different blog posts on that one thing. First, maybe you do a beginner one, it's a how-to article, and you do a video. Then you do the same topic and you write it for an executive level, and you change it to a Q&A, and it's a graph, it's got an infographic or something like that. So checklist is one of a list, so that's perfect. So then what we would do is we'd say, okay, let's outline that post. Maybe we come up with, say, 10 points on things that they need to be aware of post-military life. We'd outline those, and then we would give it to our writer and say, here's the outline, fill it in, or if that's you, and you just start filling it in as much as you can. Provide as much detail as you can about each one of those outline posts, outline bullets, so that you can get your post as long as possible. Then you go to content design, so I come over here, Dollar Photo Club, type in something like military. Did I spell it right? So, some awesome pictures here. Yeah, perfect, transitioning back to family life, bunch of different stuff. So I come in, I pick up a couple of these, look perfect, applying for jobs or whatever. So, come and find a couple photos, tactfully place those throughout the blog post, and maybe do a summary paragraph at the end. Lots of times I do intros and summaries, but wrap whatever we're talking about. So, the summary paragraph, maybe you want to do a quick blurb, a video blurb that says, maybe an interview with, let's say, somebody who recently did return, how they went through it or something like that, how they found the post useful. And then run through the optimization stuff, run through Yoast to make sure it's optimized as it should be. So that would be a solid piece of content. That's something that people are going to want to read. So when you go into these last two pieces, it makes these so much easier. The issue we were having when we were doing the thin content is that doing these two things, sharing it and marketing the content, which I'll tell a little bit about, wasn't fun. Nobody wanted to share. Nobody cared enough to actually do any of these two things. It was painful for us, and it was painful for the people we were doing outreach to, try and get them to help link back to us or do whatever it was. So once you have a solid piece of content, once this is all done perfectly, and you have this great thing that everybody's going to want to read, then you go into the sharing and marketing. Sharing, we split them up because they fulfill two different roles. Sharing is when you're just sharing posts with your own followers. So your brand has its own business pages, and you do just a regular post that says, hey, here's our recent blog post, check it out, whatever, however you want to tailor it. We talk about this plugin all the time, but we use this with a couple other tools to post straight from WordPress. So via Next Scripts, we're able to set up all of our social accounts right in there. Let's see here, down at the bottom. Next Scripts. So we've got our Facebook, we've got our Flickr account, we've got our Google Plus, we've got my personal Google Plus, we've got LinkedIn, we've got my sales guys LinkedIn, we've got my personal LinkedIn, we've got Pinterest, we've got everything. StumbleUpon, Twitter.
Is that repost to button so that you could?
It's already been posted once. If I wanted to do it again, like I will, I'll do that right now. Do this one. Sending update to Twitter.
Can it be scheduled?
Yeah, oh yeah. This plugin does so many cool things. So auto, it might not work on this first one. Let's see. Yeah, let's turn it on. Yeah, it does all that, man. This thing's got. It'll actually track comments on Facebook and pull them back into the blog. So like if anybody comments on your blog post that was shared via here, it'll pull them backwards. So, time to post, set time. So you can schedule it out in the future. Set time, it's all set to immediately. Set time. So yeah, you can do so much from that plugin. So we share it all over the place. That's our next step. So our own brand is now blasted out our new awesome content to all of our followers. And hopefully they love it and they comment and they engage and they share it and they do all those things by themselves, just from us sharing it with them. That was pretty easy one. You don't have to use this tool. Sometimes we use Hootsuite. It doesn't quite do the same purpose, but we use Hootsuite for a lot of sharing of stuff as well. Then comes the fun part. It's slightly laborious, but it's where you get the most return for your efforts probably after the fact. You have to put a lot of time. So marketing, content outreach, looking for people that may be interested in what you're talking about, and then sharing your stuff with them with the possibility of them retweeting or linking or doing something. You don't ask for any of that. You just tell them, hey, check this out. I think you might find this interesting, and then hope they do something. You have to try to keep it as non-spammy as possible. One of the awesome tools we use for that, something called BuzzSumo. Have you ever heard of BuzzSumo? Have you heard that before? It's awesome. It does so much cool stuff. If we go on the military route again, military, we'll just type that in for the spot, right? Military. So you type in your topic. That's all I do. I haven't logged in yet. This is all free so far. which branch of military do you belong to? So it does all this stuff for you that says, man, this post, total shares, got 464,000 shares across Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, Google+. That's a ton of shares. So you can actually rewind, this can actually come up in the content schedule too, finding good content ideas. You can come here and say, oh man, I'm kind of run dry on topics. I'm writing about military. What else has done good? Here's some really good examples. Let's do not the exact same thing, but let's try to figure out what made this post successful and recreate it to some extent. But now fast forward to the content marketing part, we say, okay, this is actually on par with the exact same thing I just wrote about. Like, people who read this are gonna love my post as well. So you can come over here and view shares. So this is on Twitter specifically, and it's gonna give you a ton of information on these people. So this girl, Lady and Nicole, shared that post about military something. Let's imagine that's on exact par with what we wrote about with our new blog post. So we can see a lot of information about this girl. Page authority, all these are sortable. Domain authority, how many followers she has, how often she retweets, like what's her retweet ratio, how often does she reply, what's her average number of tweets. So if I wanted to see who had the most followers, I can sort by followers here. And it's kind of a math thing. You gotta kind of figure out exactly which one's gonna be the best bang for your buck. They say, okay, this person has 51,000 followers, and they retweet 27% of the time. So 1 out of 4 tweets is a retweet for these guys. So there's probably a good chance they might retweet my stuff to their 51,000 followers. If we decide that this is the person to share it with, if you have an account and you log in and set up everything, you can tweet straight from here. If not, let's see, sign up for your login. Let's see if I have an auto login set up. So if you didn't want to do it that way, you can just take the Twitter handle and paste it over on Twitter. It's always balanced. So I'll ran out of luck here and have to log in now. Assuming it's this one right now.
You're using the Firefox.
Oh, is that one?
Yeah.
Oops.
Cool.
Anywho, we got to the point that I needed to get to. So you identified somebody who will give you hopefully a result maybe by retweeting, or possibly maybe they have a blog, maybe their URL is a blog all about military life, post-military life. Perfect. Share with her and say, hey, I think you might find this post interesting as well. Share with them, hopefully they do something with it. With the Kraken post, we did that, and that's how we got Kraken to retweet. We said, hey, check out our guide that we put together. They retweeted it out to all their followers. Yeah.
It listed a couple metrics. It was page authority and domain authority.
Okay,
What do those mean?
Page authority and domain authority, important qualifiers. Andrew, do you want to tell about those?
The page authority and the domain authority that you saw on BuzzSumo was from the Twitter, to the Twitter page specifically.
Okay.
So that gives you an idea of how active they are, really. And the higher the number, the better, the more active they are. So that's just like a quick indicator on if it's worth pursuing or not. You see a low number, forget about it.
There are qualifiers and they're on every web page anywhere.
It's almost like cloud, like how much influence that person has.
It's a scale according to BuzzSumo's algorithm.
Do you know what this scale is?
I think it's whatever.
Yeah, well, my good. So, view shares. So, page authority, domain authority. So, what's interesting is, I actually think this is talking about the person's website. I think it's talking about Twitter.
Right. But sometimes they don't have websites.
Right, sometimes they don't, and then I think it relies back on their Twitter page. But, so it's talking about that, help Nicole Hill blogspot. Page authority is referencing her specific page, the books by Nicole Hill. 28, it's out of 100, both these are out of 100. And 93 is referencing the domain that it sits on, so Blogspot. Blogspot's actually going to have a high domain authority because it's owned by Google and everybody uses it for lots of different things. So you'll see a slight variation. That's interesting. We rotated the same for the purposes of the example, but nice enough. WordPress.com gets 100. So this WordPress.com is really good as a domain, but her page is really poor. There's not much going on it. So the higher both of them are, the better. Somebody with an average, really, this is pretty typical. Like I would steer away from somebody just because they were lower on that score, especially if they have a big following, more than 400 people. There's a lot to learn for sure on all of this.
You just sorted by followers?
Sorted by all of them, yeah, everyone. We switch back and forth, you know, how often they retweeting.
I sort of like retweets mostly.
Yeah, so if you get someone that's retweeting all the time, and you share it with that person, so let's see, retweet ratio. Because then you can dial in and say, okay, these are the people that I'm having the most luck with getting a retweet. And then you say, this person's got 2,700 people, and I'll probably get a retweet out of them. So I can pick up a good amount of views by something like that versus somebody who has a super low retweet ratio, but they have 100,000 followers. Well, you're probably not going to get retweeted by that person, so it may not be worth her reaching out to them. So this is where we spend a lot of time, post all this other stuff, you know, hours trying to do outreach to people. 100 people will try to do outreach, hope that 5 of them retweet or do something about it, just so you get some of that exposure. And this comes back to other points that I've made in the past about social media being an influencer. That Kraken post that we did, this was our main test one going into this, really has no backlinks. It has no reason to rank other than content. So it's got content and social sharing. That's all it has really backing it right now. And if you do a search for how to, what was it, set up Kraken, right? Let's see where we're at today. Yesterday we were at Spot.
You have to plug in at the end because there's several Krakens in the webs. Number 4.
So number 4 now. So no backlinks, no anything, just social shares and great content, and it got us to a spot 4 position. So while they say social media does not play a factor in SEO, that to me says it definitely does. That's the only thing that's got going for it other than the content. So Google's paying attention, especially Twitter. Twitter's public more so than Facebook. So you get Google's monitoring Twitter all the time, so they see tweets that are happening.
Is the video yours as well? YouTube?
No, it's not.
It's headphone.
Oh yeah, that's a headphone. This is a lot of Kraken stuff.
It's such a weird name,
Yeah. So it's definitely doable. This one actually, back in the content schedule for this specific one, this one came up because, and this would apply to all you guys too, what Andrew had set up the Kraken plugin and couldn't find any how-tos on how to do it. So he found a niche and said, hey, if nobody else is writing about it, I'm gonna write about it. And because it's obviously something, it was confusing, it didn't make a whole lot of sense on how to set it up. They had the settings really hidden. So we went through, put a post together and filled that need that was out there. So as you find needs yourself, it provides great content opportunities for you.
And one thing I did is, before even writing this, I went to SEOrush.com and I searched their Kraken's traffic from organic. And it's interesting, I don't know what the numbers exactly are, but it's a lot. For Kraken.io, so they're getting 5,000, or 7,500, 6,500 visits a month average. So there's going to be a lot of people that will not know how to set it up, a lot of beginners maybe, and so they're going to look for that how-to, and they're going to find us maybe.
Yeah.
So that's a good way to understand if you're going to get a lot of traffic or not. Go to SEMrush and then see their website info on analytics on traffic.
Since we're paying for it now, we get an hour. An hour is about up. So let's see if there's any questions. Any questions about any of that? Andrew? Yeah, sorry.
So when you talk about sharing, can we talk a little bit about Pinterest and because I use a fair amount of stock photos, and I'm guessing with Pinterest you're not necessarily going to want to do social shares with your stock images. Is that correct? Or
if you don't have anything else, I don't think it hurts. We just add this to all of our posts. Go back. Super easy plugin. So obviously sharing it, but you can bring up Pinterest actually. This kind of
Pinterest share?
yes. So the whole on hover of all the images now. There's the pin button. So that's for users' sake. One of our followers has been having Pinterest users, so we threw that in there so that hopefully she can some of our stuff. But as far as sharing it, you know, it's not real. It's still a good link back to it. Counts as a link for public and stuff like that. So it's okay. To get Pinterest and next scripts though, you do have to buy the $45 plugin. They include everything except for Google Plus and Pinterest, I think, for free. And then to get the others, you have to pay $45. Yeah. What's your name?
Walter.
Walter. Cool.
So you mentioned Twitter is more public and Facebook is a little more private. It's hard for Google to find it.
Yeah.
So are you implying that if I want to like boost the website's publicity, so to speak, I should be focusing more of my labor on Twitter stuff than Facebook?
So they fill two different roles probably. Like you saw that one on Sumo had 400-something thousand shares on Facebook. So Facebook is great for a lot of reasons, and it can provide a lot of traffic to your website. But as far as SEO goes, so traffic's one thing, but as far as ranking your website goes, Google's not able to use that data as much because they can't see all those shares aren't scannable. If somebody's page is private or whatever it's going to be, they can't see that that information to tell the context and see everything else. So it's a little more limiting as far as your rankings go, but it can still drive a whole lot of traffic to your website and make sure that you're getting people and customers and everything else. So use them both, but know that they're going to fulfill probably two different roles. Twitter being able to hopefully fulfill both roles as far as driving traffic and providing some kind of SEO benefit.
Okay. Could you also rank social media? Which one do you think has or what serves which one serves which role? Like I know there's Tumblr.
Yeah. So you mean like trying to rank other than your website? Like actually trying to rank those?
Like I try to as far as like why should I reach out to Facebook instead of Twitter? Like what roles do each of these social media serve?
It kind of depends on your company probably, but so Facebook. So we're
There's a
talking.
really good book by Gary Vaynerchuk, Jab, Right Hook. That really explains it well.
I agree.
He also has a YouTube videos pretty much every day.
Yeah.
There's a content monster.
Yeah. So, so there's basically 6 of them, 6 social networks that we pay attention to: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Google Plus.
YouTube.
So,
and you Tumblr doesn't count.
yeah. So, Facebook's a great place to generate buzz and drive traffic. Twitter fulfills that as well, and on top of that provides some SEO benefit because they can see it and scan it and tell what's going on. They can get people, they take into account cloud scores and influencers and all that kind of stuff, so they can see a lot more information on Twitter as far as what your ranking worthiness. LinkedIn, great for professional style stuff and driving traffic more. Again, it's more like Facebook probably, I guess. Instagram, we use it because everybody else does, but haven't really figured out if it's a traffic driver. Definitely not a link driver. Definitely not a rankings driver, but we try to drive traffic from it. Google Plus, 100% links. They count their own social media links as backlinks to your website, so share it on there as if for no other reason than to get a nice backlink to your website. Nobody else is using it, but Google sure pays attention to it. What else? YouTube's good. Instagram, Pinterest is good for backlinks, and it's probably more like Twitter in that realm because they can scan a lot of your pins on Pinterest and all that stuff. So that's it. This is good. Good info too. Cool. Any other questions?
I finished that form, so I mean,
cool.
I don't know.
So Vegas SEO Meetup.com. Sweet. So you can go here, ask any questions, log in, so you have to register as a forum user, but ask any questions. Andrew will be moderating it all. If you don't see a topic that fits in, especially there's a bunch of good ones, we can create new ones. Just your standard forum. So if you've used it once before, you probably know how to use this one. But definitely let us know if you have questions throughout the month. We'll gladly handle anything you guys have.
Very much. Please bring in the questions. Don't forget.
Yeah.
You guys have a Facebook page?
We do, kinda. I think I'm still on the
Or
right
on the
one.
page?
Oops, SEO tips. It hasn't been used in a while. We missed 2014. So, so it does exist. It does exist. But if you did post there, I'd get a notification, so you're welcome to do that too. So I would gladly field any answers there as well. Cool. Any questions? If you have a free space we can use to go back to the beginning, please let me know. We'll talk about UNLV. We're trying to, for if you were here at the beginning, we now have to pay for these rooms because we aren't renting here anymore. So that kind of changes things. So we'll see what we can do to keep it going.
You're not here anymore?
No, we're not here. We moved down the street. So,
Oh, you moved down the street.
Yeah, we're just over on the street. So.
There's no room there to have any.
No, unfortunately. They're building another office space that's going to have room, but that's not for 6 more months. So, in the meantime.
What about like the beach or something like that?
I thought about that. Is the user lib still open upstairs?
I don't actually go there, I just.
So there's, does anyone know about the user lib upstairs? Do you remember that back in the day? We used to go there for the Vegas Jelly meetups. Anybody remember those? Vegas Jelly? That was a long time ago before Vegas Tech even existed. I don't know what their sauce are sharing that, but apparently nobody knows about that. So maybe it's existing.
There's always the library.
Library, Innovation Center, you know, there's a couple choices.
It depends on how much you want to drive.
Is there a library down here?
Uh,
I kind of want to stay down here.
there's one near the university.
Yeah,
Flamingo.
for sure.
Well, there's a mall.
Don't go to that library.
Alright. So I'm thinking anything plus
I think so.
Oh, that's right. No parking, but yeah.
No parking here. Cool. Any other questions, let me know. We'll be around. Andrew, Wesley, Spencer asking you some questions too. Thanks for coming. That's more pizza. There's lots.
There's like a